Hi, this is Susan Regan, and welcome to my December newsletter. This December, I decided to give you some very timely tips on time management. Pun intended there. So we get into a big anxiety rush during the holidays typically. Most of us do. Especially if you have kids and you're finishing off the year and there's a million more apparent family events going on, probably in the office, lots of office parties and gatherings, and with extended family the same. So I wanted you to go into this holiday season just having a few concepts to strategize. So the first is, let me talk about anxiety. So when we rush, when we have that cortisol buildup, something happens to us where we go into fight or flight. One way to counter that is to really align and balance the sympathetic nervous system. And you can do that just by breathing. So I'm going to give you a breathing technique to do and use it whenever you're feeling like that angst, or I've got to finish this, or I'm rushing to that, or I just have too much to do and I'm overloaded. So take a few minutes, feel your feet on the floor, and I want you to take 5 breaths. Count 5 as you're breathing in. And count 7 as you're breathing out. What I want you to notice on the next breath is where your breath starts and stops and where it meets. I'm counting that you have 2 more breaths to take. Do it at your own rhythm. And again, notice where the breath starts, where the exhale stops, and where the breath meets. If you can focus on your breath and the rhythm of your breath and the cycle of the inhale and exhale, it will disconnect that fight or flight response. So here's 4 tips for you. The body gets into anxiety when it hasn't solved something, or it feels like it can continue worrying about this unresolved thing. So if something's worrying you, I want you to think about what you're going to do about it. And if we go into our minds, we're usually worrying about something. Sometimes it's the same thing over and over again. So take a minute and notice if there's any worry in there. And if there is, I want you to think about 3 things that you can do to handle that worry, to focus on that worry, to give that worry some time. Note that, do that, and store that worry in a different place in your mind where there's a resolution center in your mind. Store that worry there. Remind yourself of the solutions you're going to try. The second thing is that we often have tons of stuff to do, lists to do, things that we got to do before we go to the thing that we're going to go to. So I want you to use the 2-minute rule. If you can do that task in 2 minutes, do it. And if you can't, put it in a place where you have some time to work on it. Remember, it goes in the resolution center of your mind, so it doesn't take up space and energy just floating around your mind. Thirdly, if you want to remember what you're doing the next day, you have to think about it the night before you go to sleep. So take a look at your calendar, write your list then of what you have to do before you go to sleep. And then notice if you're actually much more on track the next day and remembering what you have to do and where you have to be. And then fourthly, I want you to do a scan of your week's events the night before your week starts, so that you can actually think about the energy you have to have on certain days and start planning accordingly, especially to make sure that you have some time for yourself. So my hope for you this December is that you're more strategized, you're calmer, you're focusing on yourself, and you're spending some time really going more into action, staying in peace, and not having floating worrying anxiety all around your brain. I'll look forward to seeing you in the new year, in 2020. Bye for now.